Hello, everyone. Let's see. Am I actually okay? Okay, it's doing something. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to another live stream featuring me and, yep, she's getting started. My cat, who has detected that the mic has turned on and is circling me like a shark. Can you guys hear me all right? I was kind of facing away from my mic there a little bit. Um, yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome in today. They were just gonna be doodling. Cat, please do not block my microphone. Okay, you're just gonna do it anyway. Okay, you took a turn. Good girl. You are learning the ropes. Um, Today it's mostly just gonna be some character doodles. Um, Probably mostly Odysseus because he's my boy. Um, I might slide in some Diomedes to serve other people in there. We'll see how the night goes. Um, and yeah. Uh, Suppose I ought to get started. Uh, Pop on the gloves. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, I'm gonna kind of just start up with some warm ups here. Circle. Ah, that's a shitty circle. Doo-doo-doo. Yes, little triangle mouth. Very owl-like. Debating if I need his model sheet or not because lately my owls have kind of been coming out a little weird looking. Um, but there we go. Yeah, just a little warm up to get my hand going with the owl art. Oh yeah, also new video coming Sunday. Gonna be the last of my animations animated with my previous workflow. I'm actually trying out a new workflow which will hopefully stick that will take a little bit longer to produce with, but should yield nicer looking results. A lot of you may have noticed that my current animation, I made his head too high up. I can't get his little cowlick in there. A lot of you guys may have noticed my previous animations have been a little bit um choppy. A lot of that is because, to be honest, I really wasn't sure what I was doing. Um, it's my storyboard process literally consisted of drawing thumbnails and then animating off of those. Now though, I've expanded it a bit. I'm actually doing some proper rough animation, so it should all look a lot nicer. Oh, hello there, Lemon Clown. Welcome. Welcome to my stream. Um, I am currently doing some warm-up doodles of my owlboy. My cat is being disturbingly quiet. Okay, she just let me know that she has just shown me a sign of life. Okay, so next I think so I saw this cute video that my sibling sent me of an owl being put in a can to get weighed. So I guess that's just the situation I'm drawing Odysseus in now. It's going to be in a little can, looking very annoyed because He's not that short, guys. Um, my circles are not circling. So yeah, it's tend to use this little like simplified circly style for just like quick doodles, like what I'm doing right now. Um, and that's it. Right now, I'm literally just warming up. I plan to do some more complicated things here in a minute. Um, right now, it is just getting myself going so that I can be going. I want him to look upset, but he literally, well, I mean, he does not smile sometimes, but he very rarely not smiles. Usually, if he doesn't smile, it's going to go even worse for you than normal. Yeah, there we go. His hair is just so fun to draw. He's just really fun for me to draw in general. Uh, those of you familiar with my social media may notice that I draw him a lot, and yeah, literally just because he's like my favorite character to draw. Um, between him and actually Polynices, but I don't post much of my Polynices designs online because he's mostly drawn for my personal enjoyment. And I am a big proponent of you don't need to post everything you draw online. Okay, so I'm gonna put the can on a little scale. Uh, there we go. And the conclusion of the scale, L is probably lighter than a feather. There we go. There's my little owl in a can. Oh, we got quite a few people now. Hello everyone. Welcome. Welcome to my stream where I am drawing my boy. Okay. Now to do a more serious sketch. my my default goes to him bathing, but I've drawn enough of that, so I'll just I don't know. I'll draw him holding a plant pot. He likes gardening. There we go. Except I'm not getting his head shape right today. He's got a little bit of sharpness in there. Also, if you guys have any other suggestions for doodles or characters, feel free to let me know in chat. If I see them and I want to do them, I'll do them. So yeah, keep in mind it does have to be a character I know. Um, so yeah. Um, drawing him with a little plant pot. I can make that hand look a little too bit better. There we go. Yeah. These are just sketches, so I'm not worrying too much about a lot of stuff. Let's see here. Oh, drawing Athena as a tiny bobblehead, it might be a little bit of an issue because she doesn't actually have a head yet in EV. Um, yeah, so uh, I'm actually posting a video on what the general plot of EV is going to be later this year, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, Athena is not necessarily all together at the moment. Uh, trying to, okay, yeah, it's gonna be a little foreshortened. That's okay. Other than the fact that I'm garbage at foreshortening. There we go. Okay, his shoulder width is way smaller than I usually do it, but oh well. That could be fixed by just shrinking his head down a bit. One moment. Here we go. A little more. There we go. That is acceptable owl anatomy. Help me. Oh. It's also runs into the other issue of I actually don't have a definitive character design for Athena yet. Um, like I have a bunch of works in progress, but they all need to get like reworked violently. Um, so yeah, it might be a little while before we have the Owl Woman. Um, there we go. I'm just bringing his body and stuff in a little bit. Okay. Let me see here. Too small for him. Yeah, it's the big, innocent-looking anime eyes, even though he is. Okay, well, he doesn't look innocent, but his eyes are big. There we go. Find this hand a bit more because I did it rather simply. There we go. Eh, where he is. Debating if I should get my Odysseus reference out. I can usually do him pretty much from heart. But I suspect I've done a few more than a few doodles of him having his little middle thingy facing the wrong direction. Um, you can do the rest of his hair fairly easily because it's oh yeah, okay. It looks like we have a word from today's. Yeah, the man is no. I mean, wouldn't say never. Say most of the time he's perfectly innocent. I mean, like at least he does no wrong. Okay, that he there are no war crimes being committed by this man. He is a perfect, beautiful angel. Does so much philanthropy work. Look at him. Holding a he's holding a little flower. He's holding a little flower. Yeah. Does this I mean, does this look like a face that would hurt anyone? This isn't a face that would hurt anyone. He's perfect. He's beautiful. He wants you to murder your family and you're gonna do it for him because he told you to. And who wants to disappoint the owl? I can sketch on his pattern because he actually has a fairly easy pattern. There we go. All right. He has. Listen, there are there are no war crimes committed by this man. This is a war crime free man. He is perfect. He is beautiful. His head is giving me issues today. I also forgot to name the lair. Shame on me. Um, okay. One more warm up doodle, and then I think I'll move on to an actual proper illustration. Um, or another doodle page. I don't know. What do you guys want? And on a separate layer so that I can scale it if needed. There we go. I think I do scale it a little. Don't really like the mouth shape. Yeah, I like this one better. Make sure get his little fangs in there. Should I do wide-eyed or should I do something more neutral? Oh, Oz is a bug? Oz is a bug. Okay, I'll quickly do a bug Oz. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, that looks weird. That one antenna. There we go. And then a feather. There. Bug owl. Very quick, very easy. He is bug, but mostly he is owl. And a snake. The king of snakes, in fact. Okay, here we go. Okay, now actually, his hair kind of be pushed a little bit because he has his hand there. Eh, I'll lower this one just so that I can, just so I don't get his cowlick into the other sketch. That is the downside, is that he kind of has a big antenna on his head. Yeah. Now, putting too much of his torso would impact another image. There we go. It's something like that. Okay. Well, this page is starting to look pretty full. Um, I suppose another one is in order. Okay, so viewers in chat. Uh, okay, I'm trying to think of how to word this question. I am Moose. Help me with your charisma. Why are you silent now of all times? Don't blink at me. Help me. Okay. So chat. Next thing I want to do is an illustration. Any particular character or um well, if it's owl, any particular illustration you have in mind. Otherwise, I am just gonna go with what is inherently in my thought right now. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Eh. Okay, and I'm just gonna draw him first. Okay, so oh, that's too big of a nose. Eh. I am. Why is his head shape giving me issues today? I could normally draw him so easily. Okay, I see the issue. I made his skull portion too big. There we go. Now I just have to make his jaw behave. Drawing, his body turned away. Right. Shoulders slightly wider. Don't want to make them too wide though because he's actually rather slight in his build. So I'm kind of leaning back. A little too thick there. Also, I made his actual torso a little long. There we go. Okay, I might have made him way too. Um, it's okay. He is supposed to. He is supposed to be a little on the thick side. I will deal with it. Um, damn though. Okay, I'll have him. I'll check how it's like tilted away from the camera. And this one straight down. I'm just figuring out his legs now. So this one's gonna bend out that way, and this one is gonna go straight down. Oh, I've actually been looking crossed over like that is good. Clean up the sketch a little bit. Nerfed him. Okay, I nerfed him a little too much. Okay, now he's completely nerfed. Nerf. He needs to be nerfed. There we go. He's been nerfed. Okay. Gonna have to pull up oh, called pondering. Uh, one moment while I look up a chair reference. Okay. Damn, they have some nice chairs. Okay, chair reference is obtained. Um, question is, do I actually want him on a chair or do I want him on the windowsill? You know what? Rudier if he's on a windowsill, so that's where I will put him. Chair reference was patently unneeded. Go. I'll worry about the details later. Now the chair reference. All right. I need a cut reference now. As one of the things with this is I have to look up references for everything. Because I just want to make sure to have as much like proper stuff in there as possible. I remember that their cups are fairly distinct. Uh, I'm gonna go with the Killix. Yeah, I'll go with the Killix. Why not? Okay. Except I am not drawing it. Okay. The Killix was a drinking cup that had handles. Um, for anyone who is unaware. I believe it is from a later period of Greece, specifically the Hellenistic period, but do not quote me on that. I am not a historian, just someone who does a lot of research. Um, check how the little handles are. Okay, they are like little. Okay. Uh-oh. Go. hand actually needs to be a bit bigger. I always struggle making the hands the right size. I don't know. That might be something you guys regularly notice. It's like I can usually get a pretty decent shape on them. I just struggle making sure they're big or small enough to fit the illustration I'm doing. Uh, the entire unit needs to be a bit yoinkier. There we go. I just need to decide where the heck the canvas rested. Actually, the idea of the cup being slightly tilted is kind of appealing. There we go. And then this other one is going to be right there. There we go. All right. I think I have a pretty good pose done for him now. I don't know. What do we think, chat? All right. All right. All right. Okay. Just gonna do a quick canvas flip to make sure it doesn't look like his head could use some adjustments. That's fine. I'm gonna add a little some more detail for him there. Uh, and you know what? Sacrilegious, especially for what I said earlier, but the owl will not be smiling in this picture. Okay. The other issues, I think I might have made him a little too tall. Nah, it's fine. Okay. All right. Actually, I'm going to pull up his reference for this because A, it gives you guys an opportunity to see his reference, but also it makes sure I don't fuck things up horrifically. I didn't care as much with the doodles because they are doodles, but yeah. And then I actually run off of two for reasons that might get. Question is, cloak or no cloak? I'm gonna go with no cloak because his cloak. One of the issues with his cloak design is it actually tends to I have to finagle it a little bit more when like this arm is raised, and I don't feel like dealing with that today. Yet there I go, drawing his cloak in immediately after saying that. Okay, that was a little lower, but right there. I'll make sure to get that bloody neckline. Yeah. Mine's not lighting up enough. There we go. Still doesn't look. Okay, that looks better. Or actually, should he be wearing his chitin at all? Because technically this would be in his palace. Let me look at stuff real quick. Oh, oh my gosh, things are weird. Okay, back to normal. Then I have to pull out the design I don't have on his model sheet yet. Yeah, kind of fine. I could just say he's visiting someone. All right. Mm, yeah. Why I pulled it out so I can go check. Okay. Oh, there's the cat going off again. Yeah, what is it? Yeah, I know. I'm in the middle of drawing. What do you want? You want attention? Where are you? Oh, you're behind my chair. Hello. Yeah. Little girl has returned, everyone. Oh, what the heck? Ah, cat, don't stand on my drawing tablet. Kitty, kitty. Okay. Mild delay. I am being blocked. Okay. Oh, lower than recommended fit rate. What does that mean? Okay. I'll worry about that later. For now, back to drawing because my cat has vacated the drawing space. Okay, and there we go. I'll rooting out the window. Now I just have to think about the room he's in a bit more. I think I will put like some put pixel color right there. And I'll grab another. Ah, no, it looks weird. Hmm. Let's draw the actual shape of the room. Put that ruler in here because I'm having trouble drawing a decent looking straight line today. There we go. Oop. Okay. I think I'm gonna put color right there. Chest reference. What are you, Moose? There's nothing in there. What are you doing? Did you find another cricket or something? Okay, she's like aggressively digging behind a piece of furniture. Um, okay, let me look up. Oh, that actually looked pretty cool. Okay. Oh, oh my gosh, cat fur all over my screen. Thank you, Moose. I love you. Okay, box in the corner. Eat. But I am once again not drawing straight lines very well today. Not in a straight mood, which is probably why I'm drawing this guy. Well, anyway. um. Okay. Let me see here. Right. I think I'm gonna have some sort of border around the window. That'll probably detail more when I actually work on the background. All right. Now this isn't an animation, so I actually prefer to line in raster. I just like how the lines look a lot better. Um, Also they just erase nicer. Okay. That little flapping on the side of his head does sometimes give me some trouble, as you guys can see. Right. So I know at least one person watching is somewhat familiar with what I'm doing here. If we have time today after this illustration, what other characters would you like to see drawn? Probably do if I have time, just a quick doodle page. If not, I will just keep it in mind for my next stream. About an hour left. Probably be able to get through the basic line work in that time. And then the line span. Oh, I knew you'd still suggest one of those too. I could probably do a Helen sketch page. I haven't drawn her in a hot minute though. I don't even think I've actually posted as much of her online. I don't know. I guess people would probably enjoy my Helen design. She is very pretty. It took me a while to settle on something for her because most beautiful woman in the world is a very, very high bar to draw. Um, um, Ferris has a similar issue to Athena where I have concept art of him, but nothing I would really consider a super solid design yet. I have drawn my kind of like current working design for him before. Hmm, I could do him. I also don't really want to draw him because I hate him, but yeah, I do kind of have to draw him, don't I? Am I drawing him barefoot again, or is he wearing his boots? I'll just keep him barefoot. I don't feel. Oh, the sandal boots. Um, Another thing I kind of have been doing with this project, I've been trying to give everyone like their own like unique sandal designs. Because you have a lot of them through the eras of Greece, and I kind of figured, be a shame if everyone wore the same sandal. And also, I like just having unique character designs. Unique character designs are fun. Um, I forgot the lore detail. I have to go add that in real quick. The little silver rod. And then get a little fancier with the cup. There we go. Let's hmm. I think the little girl has departed, guys. Yeah, little girl has departed. It is now chill, catless drawing time, which I love her, but I do appreciate not having her booty all over my tablet. She just really loves doing that. Wow, it's only been an hour. I swear it has been longer. Honestly, I am surprised with how much I'm usually able to get done in a single drawing session now. Um, like about a year ago, like that sketch page probably would have taken me more than like at least half an hour. But I've just been getting a lot faster. And that is really good because I animate and you don't want to be taking a crap ton of time when you're animating. Um, because otherwise things take even longer to get out and here's adding little wrinkles. Sometimes I like making things a little more detailed than I normally do. There we go. So it's kind of funny how different my version of Odysseus looks from like the version described in the Iliad. The one in the Iliad is like kind of described as like a little bit of a dwarf, whereas like with my design, I basically just thought he is small, and then I ran with it, and now we have a tiny man who will probably kill you, or more specifically, convince someone else to kill you because I mean, does this look like someone you could who could yeah. Uh, Indeed, time has really flown. It's I've been on this project for over a year now. And I've already seen a lot of massive improvements to my art. Um, a lot of my processes have changed. My art style itself has actually changed in a lot of subtle ways. Um, I went from yeah, I need to do his eye real quick. Like for example, the way I do noses now, it's gotten a lot more simplified. I used to like at certain angles make sure like the nostrils and stuff were visible, but now I just kind of do the single line because I actually like the look of the single line more. I think it's a lot more stylized. Another thing that's a little bit of a bitch with Oz is his like eye lines can be a little bit like finicky to place. Um I normally don't have to be like too too overtly careful with like where they are in the eye itself, itself because I can't actually afford to have them flip into the lash a little bit because like his entire eye is just like black, you know, the color of his soul. But like they can still be a little bit annoying to put down. Um, that's why I also tend to avoid drawing them when he is far away because that is when it is the worst. And also, it just simply wouldn't be as visible. But the big reason is drawing them at that distance is the most annoying thing ever. Um, I think you'd actually be able to see some of his lashes through his hair there, so I'm going to quickly. There we go. But yeah, my anatomy has improved quite a bit. I've gotten better at drawing like a more variety of body types. So, it's Odysseus is this very small, slight guy. And then I have and then Diomedes is super large, super buff. I haven't really got an opportunity to play around with Greater Ajax right yet, but he's gonna be. But like once I get him kind of nailed down, the plan is for him to be even larger and even buffer because he's like literally described as a giant. Um, you know, and then Agamemnon desperately needs to eat more soup. Man is all bone. I think a lot of variety in character design is quite important. Um, Another thing you guys may notice is that I do actually kind of make a point to have a large range of skin tones. It's not just like, dark and light, but, different shades of like whatever's in those categories. And that is another factor. I think it just looks nicer on your cast if everyone looks different, especially when they were in a already historically very diverse region of the world. The Mediterranean back then, like, encompassed a fairly large area with a fairly large variety of different looking people. Um, so yeah, I have a. I forgot to draw his chest. Like, I forgetted everything on you today, boy. You're not that flat. There you go. Okay. Um, I've also obviously improved a lot with animation itself. I did mention earlier that because of like my previous kind of way of doing things, a lot of my animations were turning out a bit choppy. I think I found a way to improve that, and even so, they've already gotten significantly less choppy over time, and I've been able to do some more complex shots than I used to be able to do. And, I generally have a lot more fun with it. Um, as for why I do animation over like webcomics, to be blunt, I have tried making comics multiple times in the past, and I just find the workflow painfully boring compared to animation. I don't know what about it. It's just like my brain no likey. I have to like actually force myself to like sit down and like work on a comic, whereas opposed to animation, it's like, okay, I need to draw this many frames today. All right, I will do that. You know, I just something about comics just like I just don't like doing them. that much. Okay. Mm, So the reason why I am like coloring Odysseus before I do the backgrounds is, as you guys know, I do quite a lot of like detail and like kind of painteriness with the background, so I generally tend to do them like separate from the character. I usually finish like, I have the sketch there, but then I finish up the character first before I move on to those. And even now, you guys will see that I'm going to kind of save the cup for last, because the cup is going to have a lot of like paintiness to it too, because I mean, he's kind of holding it, so yeah. Well, it's kind of props. I like props to kind of bridge the gap between the character and the background. Um, you're probably gonna see me like put a lot more of like the paint on like weapons and such too. Just trying to pick out a good color palette for do Sparta again. I always do Sparta. I'm gonna do. Okay, I might need to actually expand Argos a little bit. Yeah. I will do that when I work on the background. So for now, I'll just pick a nice neutral bronzy tone for the cup. Yeah, it'll just be visiting his good friend Diomedes. Oh, all right. I am uh, eh, going everywhere. No, I don't want my owl gold. My owl does not need gold leaf. There we go. Okay, and then the darker color for the inside. And I'm actually probably going to hand paint some liquid in there. Um, but first, yeah, also I need to do silver. Silver object. The lore object. Oh yeah, there's some gold gun on his hand there. Okay. And Argo, watercolor, rough wash. I'm gonna actually have to make you a lot smaller. All right. How are we feeling so far, chat? I am applying a bunch of paint now. All right. And this cup is actually supposed to be metallic, so I'm probably going to go in with like a lighter color to add some highlights to it. go. So not only am I going to be doing that, go through with a pencil and add little highlights. There we go. Now inside I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of try to sense a nice appetizing color. And I'll put in with purple. I'll try charcoal for this. There we go. And sorry if I'm getting a little quiet. I tend to get really, really into the actual background art because outside it's very painfully, very fun. Um, well, I find it fun. I enjoy doing it. Um, no, I just like how the backgrounds tend to come out. Kind of looks like he's like drinking like a, a bunch of bronze coins. Uh, real vibrant color now. There we go. And I'll include that with the base color. All right, now to start on the background. Oh, before I do that, though, I'm gonna get a drink of something. Oh, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, it's I am fairly new to doing this type of content too. I'm not really someone who likes to do a crap ton of socialization. Um, but I mean, it's because I don't really post a lot of works in progress. It seems like a good way to get a lot of that out there. Um, without like just like posting another like a speed paint video with music. Um, and yeah, so far I've been enjoying it. I enjoy drawing, and I generally enjoy showing off what I love and what I do. All right. Now on to the background. First off, I need to make a folder for him. Pop him in there. There we go. And that way I can just like turn them off when I need to. Okay. I'm gonna go back to doing white background. Okay. Um, I'm actually going to color sample from this little cup I put down because I actually think those were that actually created some nice tones to use. So I'm gonna use those. There we go. Okay. So now it's the question of where in the background should I start? Um, Probably lining the hard objects. My general rule of thumb is if something is hard, it gets an outline. If it's soft, it doesn't. Sometimes if something is hard but far away, I will also not outline it, but rather like elect to use my one of like the marker brushes, so it still has like a somewhat solid shape. Um, Second, I am struggling with the pillar. Okay, there we go. Right. And I'm gonna start building rocks and stones onto the windowsill because that is what they made their structures out of. Don't really like how that's turning out though. Okay, I'm just gonna start with the kind of like the main edge over here before I move on to kind of make them a little blobby because though they often got hewn, obviously they didn't have like laser precision back then. So it kind of, yeah. So they were a little bit blobby. Yeah. And I'll have some larger rocks just be like the windowsill. There we go. Okay, that looks a lot better. Shoot. So we have um after I'm done with the rocks here, which I'm actually starting with because they're probably gonna take. They usually take me the longest when I'm doing like an architectural background like this. Um, just because they have like there's like a lot of like detailed shading that goes into them. They are yeah. So and then for the inner little thingy, I'm just gonna do a simple. All right, window is lined. Um, and now to do the chest. Oops. All right, I'm gonna make actually give it like a little bit of a border situation. I think that would look cool. All right. And then obviously there's a pillar behind that. And okay, now for debate on the wall. Should it involve more rocks or not? How much do I hate myself today? A lot. I hate myself a lot. Okay. Almost have this. Oh yeah. So another announcement to anyone still watching. I am currently actually looking for a voice actor. So as you guys will be seeing, I have my friend Ask Viking voicing Diomedes now. Um, but I am struggling to find someone who can voice Odysseus. So if you or anyone you know can do a particularly soft, um, calming voice, hit me up. And yeah, any assistance in my search is appreciated. So if you notice, I'm not like a my method for rocks is actually still in development. But if you notice, one of the things I'm kind of doing is I'm not really trying to go for like a they're kind of curved. These are supposed to be more brick-like, so I did try to make them look a little more consistent. But also, I am not finishing the line because the idea is I will finish that up with a pencil and some other more detailed brushes when I get to coloring the background. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with that wall. All right. It's rock time. What color? I think Argos needs some more like solid, just like saturated brown. So I'm going to add some of that. Yeah. Rock color, or maybe I should call it wall color because that's what I'm starting with. Wall color. There we go. I just fill in the wall. Make sure to get all the little cracks and crevices. Okay. Whew. And now it is time to labor. So, for starters, I'm going to go in with just to kind of finish up a lot of what I have. I'm going to make the pencil thicker first. I should probably do that to start adding a lot of deeper cracks. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out a general consistent method for doing rocks. Um, Especially because I have to draw a lot of them. I don't know how much you guys know about Bronze Age Greece, but there were a lot of rocks in that architecture. It's just because they were constantly at war with each other, they pretty much like built their all of their cities and stuff like fortresses. You didn't really see a lot of like the super pretty curvy arch-filled architecture you got in later periods. It was all very rustic, kind of utilitarian, and as said, pretty much fortresses because they were constantly at war with each other. Um, yeah, really interesting actually. The entire structure of that society, especially when you compare it to how we think of like ancient Greece due to like the classical period, is very interesting because it is actually insanely, insanely different. Um, and it's kind of interesting that this is like the world a lot of like Greek mythology actually took place in, and not the super pretty, pristine one we're used to thinking about. You know, I don't know if how many of you guys have read the Iliad, but a lot of the combat in there is actually pretty brutal, and I think it does speak to a lot of like generally how things were like seen and treated at the time, as well as like more importantly what a lot of like the Greeks in the archaic period probably thought about the time. Um, I don't know. It's a whole interesting can of worms. Um, basically, that's actually a large reason why I generally try to like reference as much of like Mycenaean Greece specifically as I can, is because I just think it's really fascinating. And um, though yeah, you will see a lot of like classical Greek influences kind of sliding into EV. I am definitely trying to keep at least like the architecture and as much of the furniture pieces as I can uh fairly close to the Mycenaean period. Um, I also tend to reference the Mycenaean period a lot heavier for a lot of women's clothing. You may see that when if I get around to drawing Helen's design, because I actually prefer the dresses for women that they had back then, sans the open booba. Um, for obvious reasons, I can't really draw open the open booba because our views on exposed booba as a modern society are um not great, especially on YouTube. YouTube would absolutely demonetize me if I drew a Mycenaean dress as it was actually presented. But like their overall silhouette and like the actual kind of like look and vibe of them, I just like a lot more. Um, let me let me see if I can dig one out because no, they just look really cool. Yeah, I'll just like bring one. Okay, where's what's a good one? Uh, yeah, historical recreations. Um, yeah, I don't want to bring anything that was like actually drawn by someone because I don't want to risk. But I really want to. Here's a pic from a museum. Okay, pic from a museum. I am just gonna pop that right into my art program just so you guys can see it. No, seriously, look at these. They're gorgeous. I love them. Like especially because you have like a lot more like stuff going on with the actual like skirt of the dress, and um, it's just they look so much nicer. I don't know. I really like them. Anyway, back to Owl. Um, no, it's point is Mycenaean period is cool. Mycenaean period is very cool. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So now it comes to the really annoying part of doing rocks, which is making sure they're all appropriately shaded. Now these rocks would actually be shaded a bit more because Odysseus is right there, seating his little owl booty right on top of them. Okay. Um, Mycenaean helmets were also fire too because, like, we think Viking when you think horned helmets. They literally had like horned helmets. They of course they had like the classical boar tusk cap, but they had a lot of very horny boys, and they look epic. Um, I'm not as much of a fan of the actual body of the armor. I'm still incorporating it in EV where I can, but it's rather tin canny. A lot of that is just due to how the metallurgy was at the time. But yeah, I am not as much of a fan of the can as I am of the helmet. Um, but yes, rock. I am painting rock, taken a lot of work to paint the rock. So yeah, typically I do one layer of like a for the pencil, it's this layer of multiply paint, just kind of applying it where I need. Um, Definitely trying to shade more like away from the window. Because I mean the light's gonna the window's kind of gonna be my main light source here. Um, so I'm generally trying to keep a lot of the rocks further from the window, a little bit darker. Um, I wish I could scroll I figured out how to scroll while like actively drawing with a brush on a this drawing tablet yet, so I like have to as I overall like it a lot more, but that is one of the downsides. It's just like I can't do things like that very well. Okay. Wow. So rocks. What's everyone's favorite rock? Just give me some good rocks. Give me some good rocks while I paint some rocks. Cinnabar and obsidian. Ah, yes. Mercury rock and shark rock. Now, obsidian is really pretty. So I grew up in southern Idaho, and one of the benefits of that is that we very importantly we were within like driving distance to Yellowstone. And kind of like one of my favorite places in Yellowstone, besides obviously the big geysers and stuff, was this place. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was pretty much a cliffside made of obsidian. And they had like tall tales about it, like, oh, you used to be people used to like actively run into it because like they couldn't see the wall there, blah blah blah, volcanic glass, all that. But it also was just super pretty, and you could just find like a lot of cool rocks around it. Um, uh, Not any that you were probably allowed to take, but they were cool, and cool rocks are cool rocks. But also because Idaho itself lies so close to Yellowstone, there's a lot of areas in Yellowstone that actually used to be under the same like hot spot of the of Mountain Yellowstone. So you actually had a lot of like volcanic activity going on in Idaho. So there was like a lot of deposits of basalt and obsidian lying around the area. Uh, More notably, Craters of the Moon which is very lovely. Um, its name is pretty descriptive of what it looks like. I would recommend you look it up. It's basically a bunch of basalt caves formed around a dead volcano. We also had some hot springs up there. That was pretty fun. Honestly, Idaho has just the prettiest environment. I wouldn't move there for other reasons, but it is definitely probably one of the prettiest states in the country. And this is the part of the process, by the way, where the rocks actually start looking more like rocks. So, ta-da, rock. I think my favorite gemstones right now, I really like fire opals, and I really like specifically Padparacha sapphires, which are this very rare kind of salmon colored sapphire that you will find in India, I believe, or like somewhere India adjacent. Um, they are very rare though, but they are super pretty. Um, I am also a fan of black onyx, particularly banded onyx, which I actually based Odysseus's eyes on a little bit. Um, I kind of designed them with like the sort of like banded onyx oidness in mind, just because I like the rock. Um, but also because I kind of knew I wanted him to have really dark eyes. I kind of wanted him to look a little soulless, in fact, because I mean, kind of a there's nothing wrong with Owl. Owl is perfect. Owl is great. I love him. He is the most perfect boy. I will not accept any any Auslander. Anything else you hear from anyone else is just slander. He is perfect. He is fine. It is a moral and right thing to do to kill people's families. Not really. I'm joking. I'm joking. But I'm sure he has his reasons for it. And I'm sure they are perfectly fine, valid, and good. Speak my truth. Okay, everyone, let's you know that kid who bullied you in high school? Go up to him, you know, get really close to him. Really, really close. Convince him that you've forgiven given everything, you know. Bring him in, bring him super close. You know, be his best friend. Make sure you are his life. And then using your position as his closest confidant, steal all of his money, alienate him from everyone he knows and loves, and then abandon him so he knows exactly what it feels like to be a pariah. That is the owl method. because owl is moral and just. Yeah, I probably sound like a fucking psychopath right now. Don't actually do anything I say in this stream. It's I'm not gonna lie, I am probably running off of like very little sleep right now, so probably I'm saying some insane things. Okay. Also, rocks. Look at these rocks. They are good rocks. They are dry. The slow, meticulous like shading of each and every rock is maddening. But I am almost done. I don't have too many rocks left. Soon the rocks will be complete and it'll be glorious. I generally try to keep the shading on these a little rougher looking because I mean they're rocks. Um, whew. Take another drink break because my wrist is getting tired. Solid life advice. Yes, yes, solid life advice. Do not listen to anything I say. I am the worst example. I do like all of the unhealthy habits you could probably imagine an artist doing. I subsist on 3 hours of sleep and enough energy drinks to give me a heart attack. Don't listen to anything I say. Don't follow my advice. Don't try to live like me. You will probably wind up in the hospital. If you listen to anything I say tonight, though, drink lots of water. Water is good for you. Even if you have like the most unhealthy lifestyle imaginable, water water will keep you alive. Drink water, everyone. Be wet. That is probably the only bit of wisdom I will be sharing in this stream. Gosh, why is he so pretty? Why did I make him so pretty? Okay, anyway, enough owl gushing. Enough owl gushing. Even though the owl deserves to be gushed on because he is beautiful and perfect. You know, I'm just realizing that after I'm done with these rocks, I then have to do the rocks I decided to stupidly put on the windowsill. I think my wrist is gonna hate me. Why do I do these things to myself? Why do I insist on rock, everyone? Why do I insist on rock? I mean, All power to you. I also like myself a good Diet Coke. It has to be diet though, because I enjoy the taste of aspartame because I am a psychopath. The rocks are done! Those rocks are done. Okay. The wall has been concluded. Oh, and we are almost out of time. So instead of doing the very soothing work of coloring another batch of rocks, I am going to do something a little faster and color the pillars. I actually forgot some important things on the pillars, so I'm going to go through and do that real quick. Specifically, this one needs a little circle thing because they were typically painted on the bottom. There we go. Uh, they also typically had like a lot of figures on them and stuff, but I'm I'm an animator, okay? I need to be fast. I'll do it a little lighter. There we go. And then I'll do a pretty, I'll do this yellow color for the bottom. Okay. And these are just a fast little paint job because they're relatively smooth in texture. I forgot to put the highlight on the rock wall, but I'll just do that later because we have 5 minutes left. Um, yeah, and I want to focus on just getting a few more elements of the picture done. So I haven't even decided what the heck I'm doing for the floor yet. Uh, okay. Well, I have about 5 minutes left. Um, how we feeling about the picture so far, chat? Think it's turning out good? Probably looks a little bit raw right now because I've barely gotten through the rocks. Um, I'm typically what kind of pulls everything together in the end is when I finally get around to adding the light. Um, yeah, I need to quickly. It is critical the rocks have lighting because that generally they yeah. I generally tend to shade the actual like background a lot more heavily because it tends to be way more detailed. I don't know. I just like kind of the texture bomb effect of having this really simple unshaded character next to like a on like a this aggressively textured background. I just really like the look of it. So yeah, trying to get through as many rocks as I can before I have to call time. So it's the rock highlight speed run. Oh yeah, this is really bringing those rocks together. It's all coming together. All rock. All right. Well, this is what we're ending off with. Um, thank you guys for attending the stream today. Um, you will be seeing a lot of the drawings and such I have done today on Monday. That is when I will probably be posting them up. Um, I do have a new video coming out Sunday, and I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Um, what else is there? Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share my videos around, all of that engagement stuff. Um, and yeah, thank you for coming out today. I hope you enjoyed today's stream and my unhinged rambles and my beautiful, beautiful little man. Um, yeah. And my cat actually was quiet today while being fully awake and active. So, big strides in stream tech there. Right. I will see you guys another time. Possibly next Friday, possibly the Friday after that. I'm still kind of figuring out the whole stream schedule thing. Um, and yeah, farewell.